to me at least, the opportunity here is actually really important. I think a lot of people think of a mobile device as a smaller screen and thereby a less attractive advertising vehicle. I actually believe that the opposite is true. I believe that the primary interaction model in mobile is this notion of a sort of a feed, right? A vertical scrolling interaction. And what that offers marketers is the idea of a more linear advertising experience. So one of the reasons TV is such an attractive platform for advertising is that you're not asking the consumer to consume both content and advertising at the same time. Now contrast that with the desktop world where there are 7 ads on a page or something like it, plus content, and you're trying to break through with a brand message, or really any message of any kind. It's challenging. And there certainly are ad vehicles or ad units out there that try to address that challenge. But the nice thing about a mobile device and the platform that the ad platforms that we're seeing arise now is that by definition, it tends to be sort of one message or one piece of content or one ad at a time. And what we have seen in our research, at least, is that in general, this type of model is significantly more effective at driving offline sales, really, or any kind of sales, than a more traditional website. So if we compare newsfeed ads on mobile to the ads that are in our right-hand side, we see something like an 8 to 10x improvement in performance. And so I think we should, as an industry, I believe, really embrace this notion of a linear ad format, talk about it, understand how it's different. Consumers certainly have the choice to continue to scroll past an ad, just like they have the choice to tune out of an ad or go grab something from their kitchen in the world of television. So we need to figure out what are the right ways to break through, to keep their attention, and to really take advantage of this fleeting moment when you have 100% of their attention. As I mentioned before, I think this idea of addressability is really our future. But in order to take advantage of it, we have to recognize that we need some kind of a linking variable, some type of the ability to compare one media to the other to really take advantage of it. Some research that we did with GfK looked at how people are using devices in any given week. And the astounding thing about this chart to me is that it is now more popular for people to use 3 devices in any given week than it is for them to use 1 device. So like this notion of cross media is absolutely here right now, and we're seeing it in all of our data and certainly in third-party research. When we look at any given block of a day, we see tons of switching occurring. People oftentimes in the morning roll out of bed and look at their mobile device, get to work, use a laptop, go home, sit down on the couch and use their tablet. And when we talk to these consumers and ask them about it, what we see is tremendous switching occurring throughout the day. In any given session, that is, a 5 to 30-minute block of time, 85% of people report switching between devices. Even specifically for a task, trying to get something done, we see 42% of people reporting that they switch in between platforms. And if you're a marketer and you're trying to understand how your marketing works, the idea that you're not able to track them and each of those interactions looks like a different person just doesn't work, right? And so what we oftentimes see is this idea of people switching up, right? So if they started with a mobile device, in order to finish the task, they will oftentimes switch over to a laptop. Or they'll start with a laptop and then finish down the road with a tablet. And if you take a step back and you look at just one consumer, this is 3 days in the life when we conducted a digital ethnography of a consumer leading up to the holidays around Thanksgiving, the amount of platform switching and the amount of sort of tool switching in between was tremendous. And without the ability to sort of track a consumer throughout that journey, then you really lose visibility into what's doing what well. And so, that used to be the idea of cookies as the platform that you would use, but I think that is kind of no longer working. This is just looking at desktop and mobile web, and we're seeing that 70% of the people after 2 weeks have more than one cookie, right? So you've already lost the fidelity of understanding a person as they journey through a purchase decision. If you look at a month, 74% of people have more than one Facebook cookie in a given month. And that's really about the idea that they are using multiple devices, but there's also multiple people using any given device. And so this whole thing just kind of breaks down using the older technology. And so what do we need to do? We think we need to move beyond samples and beyond cookies and move to this notion of census-based measurement. And I'll sort of explain what that means. It used to be the case that I think when you didn't have addressable media, when it was one message to everybody, that a panel worked really well for understanding how things were working. At least it told you directionally, did the ad work, did it not work? Positive ROI, negative ROI. But I think in this next world that we're entering right now, and that mobile is certainly sort of accelerating us towards, we really need the ability to understand much more fragmented marketing approaches. I think gone are the days of this idealized consumer target who you design creative around and then put up on TV and everybody sees the same measure. I think the world we're heading to is 50 or 100 different segments, or maybe even more. And you know a little bit about a lot of people, and you tailor your messaging appropriately. Well, a sample of 10, 20, 1,000, even 1 million people is totally insufficient for understanding how those tactics work. And so you really have to have the ability to track people at scale or near census.